Almost loaded up, Rockert.
There has to be a different way.
Where the Platte River runs, where that black water moans, sits a town on the plains worn down to its bones. I boarded a pass, left the fade long ago, only one way out down the Platte River.
Hey now, and thank you so much for being here. My name is Rocket, and this is the maiden voyage for the Digital Pirate AI YouTube channel. I'm excited that we've finally gotten this far. I have another YouTube channel. It was a sports channel for Tennessee football. Had a lot of subscribers, about 3,000 subscribers, made a little money with it. Now, and I was trying to make that channel into this channel, and the algorithm just did not like that. It was not cooperating whatsoever. So I decided to start fresh and clean, and that is what this channel is all about. So I appreciate your help. Give me some likes and some subscribes. And the most important thing I found out about YouTube is comments. Give me a comment. Tell me what you think about what you see here tonight, today, whatever the time frame is you're watching this. So my background, just really quickly, and then we'll get into the good stuff. My background is I've been in this business for about 40 years, and in all aspects of it. I started in radio, then I became an actor, and then I ended up teaching theater at UCLA, and because of that was able to go through the film school. Because of that, I got this really sweet job at a casting company, which allowed me, I was blessed to be able to work with literally every major director in Hollywood. The only one that I didn't work with literally was Spielberg. I mean, I worked with Ridley Scott and Tony Scott, God rest him, Adrian Lyne. There's 3 Oscar-winning directors right there. Joe Pytka, Norman Seeff, David Fincher. I was just really blessed, and I learned a lot about this business working with those guys, way more than any of the acting work or acting coaches that I worked with, you know. So fast forward to about 5 years ago, 4.5 years ago, I had to have an emergency open heart surgery thing, and went well. Thank you for asking. And so that was about the time during my recuperation. I had absolutely nothing else to do. My business, my photography business was shot to hell because of it came right off the heels of COVID. And now I have this major recuperation and rehabilitation with my heart and body, and that takes a lot out of you. And that was about the time AI came onto the scene for general consumption. And I had no other choice but to dive into it just for keep my sanity. And I've literally been involved with it for 4.5 years, every day of my life, all day. So I've learned quite a lot with it, and I keep building my skills with it. And back in January, I have been posting now for the past, 8 or 9 months, almost a year, of commercials that I have produced for businesses and brands and whatever. I made a living at it. And I get a call from Freddie Lyle. Actually, it was a text. And he said, hey, I've been seeing all this AI stuff you've been producing or you've been posting. Where do you get that? Do you do it yourself or do you buy it or whatever? And I said, I do it myself. I've got those skills. And he said, well, I have this song. It's called Platte River Road. Do you think you could make a little movie about that song? And I said, you, sir, have come to the right place.
His hands were stained with oil and rust, pulling parts from cars, left the guy in the dust. She worked the grill at a greasy cafe, trying to pay their bills with her minimum wage.
So what typically happens in a film production, you've got your director of photography, assistant, script truck, lighting package, rental fees, casting director, callbacks, contracts, talent fees. You got an editor, suite rental for that, software licenses, weeks of post-production. You got a music producer, a songwriter, an executive producer with a checkbook. Now, on this little movie, Platte River Road, same jobs, just a different crew. Check this out. Look at this. Isn't that amazing? You've got your human side and you have your AI side. Nano Banana created every location you see in the movie, built every character reference. VO, Kling, and Higgsfield essentially were my directors of photography and the animation department. They're available 24 hours a day, no overtime, no lunch breaks, no complaining about the bad tuna sandwiches. CapCut sat in the edit bay whenever I needed it, and Claude and ChatGPT were in the writer's room 24/7. The only humans in the crew, Freddie, Lyle, wrote and performed the song. Evan Redwine in Nashville produced the music and did an amazing job. And Fred Clark was there. He had a vision, and more importantly, he had a checkbook. And me, one guy with a laptop connecting all of this together. Same roles, same responsibility, fraction of the cost. And that is the future of filmmaking, I'm telling you. That's what happened 2 months ago in my office on the Florida Gulf Coast.
Both 21, both wanting to run. She had a plan, he had a gun. Gonna leave this life and the debt that they owed. Heading east out of town, down the Platte River Road. Engines run hot, bodies run cold. Blood runs deep, stories get told. They say their ghosts still cry when the thunder rolls, where they left their souls on the Platte River Road.
So the first thing that happens in any film project is there's got to be a script. That's the first thing that happens. So Clark Creative sent me this script, and the script is pretty easy in this situation because it is a song. So you'll see on the script breakdown, on the right-hand side is the song, the verses of the song, right? On the left-hand side is the expectation of what the client would like to see during this music video. So now we have a script, and now we pull the AI crew together. And now it's time to get to one of my favorite parts of a film production is the casting of the actors. But Rocket, they're not actors. They're not real. Really? Okay. Well, you watch the movie, and you tell me these characters aren't real. That's what I mean by the fun part. Well, how do you make them real? Okay, I'll show you that in a little bit. But let me show you the process. I had a story conversation with Freddie Lyle, and he told me the kind of people he was looking for, and I went out and I built the kind of people that he was looking for based on his description of them. And this is what that casting session looked like. So I went to Nano and I created these 4 characters, 4 women and 4 dudes, so that Fred could choose who he would prefer for Rose and Ray. I put them in a Nebraska rural environment, and I put the song under these images so that they kind of get a feel of what they would look like in the movie, right? And that's what you're seeing right now. And then I submit this tape just like it would be done in a real production, a live production. The casting director would submit the tape to the production company, and they would decide on who they would want as their actors, and they would cast accordingly.
Hey, Fred, pick me.
And what I did here was I tried to give them some personality. Not only did I want to show them what they look like, I gave them some personality with these little cards. Girl number 1 is my sister, but I have better hair. That's funny. And then the dudes come up and they bring in the heat, right? Hey, Fred, I am your dude. Howdy, Fred. I'm your Huckleberry. I know those 4 girls. They're fucking crazy. Well, Rob Banks for Fred. So they get back to me, and they have selected their Rose and their Ray. And they picked this guy for Ray. And again, I give them a little encore screen test so they can make sure that this is the person that they want in the environment. And of course, I have the music, Platte River Road, playing underneath it so they can get a feel about how they look in the location and look in character with the music playing. And that, I think, really gives them an opportunity to see and make a decision on who they want. Good-looking couple there, don't you think? I really like the way they look together. Their energy and their vibe. Look at that. That's out of a Netflix movie, for crying out loud. And then here is their legitimate screen test. We get them moving and in their outfits and costume, and boom, there we go. We have our characters, Rose and Ray, for Platte River Road. Just when you thought we were through with casting, not so fast, my friend. We have to cast the truck. The truck is super important because it has to remain consistent all the way through the movie. And if you don't know how to do that, that's where an AI movie falls apart. It can't look like one thing in one scene, and then you go to the next scene and it looks completely different. Even minuscule changes can throw it all off, and you go, I don't believe that. See, that's the main thing. How do you make it look so real? It's through content consistency. The characters have to be consistent in how they appear from screen to screen to screen over the length of the film. That's the most important thing. The truck is as much of a character as the 2 actors are, right? And so I had to go build the truck from every angle so that you could see so many different angles of it. Oh, I think this is where they're going to kiss. Are they going to kiss?
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to kiss. All right. I was testing a kiss there. And you see now, we've got several different angles in the rain with them in the truck, so to make sure that the truck looks the same in every in every little section of the video that I might use, right? Very, very important. Love that truck. I would like to go find Fred. We got to go find this truck. Now, let me tell you one other thing here we have to find is we have to build the sheriff. We have to do the very same thing with the sheriff, right? So here we go, building the sheriff. I go into Nano Banana and I build the sheriff. This is what the sheriff looks like, so that every time we see the sheriff and every time we see the sheriff's car, it's the same thing. Character consistency is how we make it look real. And in the next little segment, I'm going to show you exactly how we do that. We shall return to our regularly scheduled programming right after we hear from our favorite sponsor.
You've tried everything. The outfit, the hair, the personality. This is faster. Grab me rocket. Grab me rocket. Launch something.
The county sheriff was making his rounds, heard their tires squeal as they sped out of town. His lights lit up as the rain came down. They both heard the wail of his siren sound. The sky grew dark, the sheriff grew near. They could see his lights in their rearview mirror. Freedom was driving away from their past, but freedom don't break when you're driving too fast. Engines run hot, bodies run cold, blood runs deep, stories get told. They say that ghosts still driving the thunder roads where they left their souls on the Platte River Road.
So that's the biggest question I get. My stuff tends to look very realistic, and people are asking me all the time, Rocket, how do you make it look so real? I'm going to show you right here, right now. I'm not going to give you the full-blown tutorial, but I'm going to show you in a little demonstration how it becomes real. All right? These generators are amazing. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take something that's different from Platte River Road and just go a handsome man in a trench coat and a brown fedora. And I am in Nano Banana, as you can see right here. And I don't need two of them. I'm just going to do one just for this little demonstration. And I'm going to hit go, and it's going, and it's going to make me a handsome man in a trench coat and a brown fedora. Now, I have no idea what's going to come up, but whatever is going to come up, I'm going to adjust it, or I'm going to edit it, or I'm going to make it look like something completely different, right? Depending on my whim, depending on my directorial eyeball. So we're at 99%, should be coming up now. And I'm showing you this in real time so you can get an idea of how long it does or does not take. Actually, this is taking a little bit longer normally than it does. There's my image. Boom. All right, let's look at this. All right, there's the man in a trench coat in a brown fedora. I don't like this, right? I mean, it's nice enough, but I'm going to do something different. Place the man in the Sahara Desert. See, I'm basically just editing what it produced for me to give me a different result. And I do that, and I do that, and I do that, rinse and repeat until I get something that I want. And then I will take that seed image and animate that as the start of a particular scene. Does that make sense? So got our dude in the middle of the Sahara Desert. It's kind of cool. I'll go with that. I don't like him smiling. And make him a little more disheveled. All right. He's not happy now. And why should he be? He's in the middle of the desert. He does have that little hut he can get out of the sun. All right, let's do one more little adjustment here. Are you starting to see how we adjust these images to bend to our will before we start to make the movie? Let's put here on the side, there is a Coca-Cola stand run by a clown. That's just brilliant. Right? Now we have something that we can work with. All right? We love this. So here's what we did. We started out with this guy, very pedestrian. We moved it to this guy. He's still kind of pedestrian because he got a goofy smile on his face. Then we went to this guy. Okay, he's getting a little bit more serious. And then we go to this guy, and this is telling a story, right? Number one, what's he doing in the desert? And number two, why is there a clown running a Coca-Cola stand in the middle? This is great. It's great. Okay, so we're done with that. And now we're going to make the movie. The camera begins a slow dolly in to a close-up of the man's face. As he says in a very friendly manner, I'd walk a mile for an ice-cold Coca-Cola. And now this is a little video, little test video we're going to make from this seed right here, and we'll see what happens. When the man says this, the clown is very happy and starts clapping. Okay, here we go. All right, it looks like our movie is ready to go, and let's have a look at it.
I'd walk a mile for an ice-cold Coca-Cola. I'd walk a mile for an ice-cold Coca-Cola. I'd walk a mile for an ice-cold Coca-Cola.
Now, for those of you who are old enough to remember, I don't think there's any camels in there. There should be some camels in there. Camel cigarettes used to have a thing. I'd walk a mile for a camel in a desert like this. And so that's why I did that. We go from this image, right, to this movie.
I'd walk a mile for an ice-cold Coca-Cola.
Now, did you notice the camera move? Just a beautiful dolly into a great close-up. Look how handsome he is. And it just looks real. It looks like a commercial you would see on TV, on a high def TV, and it followed all the instructions that I gave it, right? So what your job is now is to kind of close your eyes and imagine that every scene in the Platte River Road movie, every scene started like this process that I just showed you. I started with the scene, and then if I felt like it was right, and it was never right the first time out of the gate, it always had to be massaged and iterated over and over. And that's why it took 2 months. Nowadays, I started this in January. We delivered it on February 28th. So it took a good solid 2 months to make it happen. Now, I had other projects and other commitments that I had to do in the meantime. But now there's technology out there that's just way quicker and produces these same exact results. And it's just an exciting part of technology to be a part of, and it just falls into my wheelhouse. AI filmmaking. Let me know in the comments what your response is. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer them. Be sure you subscribe. Be sure you give me some likes, but it's the likes and the comments combination that forces that algorithm to send it out to more people. All right. And it's a brand new channel. We're just starting today. I'd appreciate all the help you can give. Okay, what you just watched was a story set in 1966, Nebraska, fictitious, based on a rumor of a story, a car chase, a period film that was made by one person with a laptop and an AI crew. That same capability is now available to you. We clone you. Your face, your brand, your story. We can build commercials for you, music videos, short films, long films, content that used to require a production company and tens of thousands of dollars, a budget, and 6 months of time. We can do all of that for you now. Or if you want to learn to do it yourself, we have classes that teach you the exact methodology that you just watched, the stack, the workflow, the system. And while you're learning, you can build your skills to pay you some money. The film industry forever spent 100 years building walls around this craft to gatekeep so that only a few select could get in there. And we just kicked in the door. Can you imagine what this is going to be like in a year? 2 years? 3 months? It's exciting and it's amazing. If you want your own film made, reach out to me. If you need commercials, reach out to me. If you want me to help you promote your brand, reach out to me. I appreciate you watching this. Give me a like, subscribe, and more than anything, tell me what you think. Good or bad. I'm a big boy. I can take it. Now, one last thing. You notice that I didn't show the entire Platte River Road movie in a big chunk, right? Because I think I can't do that because I'll get a copyright strike I think I can get away with it by playing little bits and pieces of it if Mr. Clark agrees to it, if YouTube contacts him and said, hey, somebody's stealing your stuff. But what I would recommend is that you would go, and I'll leave a link in the description. Now that you've seen how the sausage is made, go have a look, watch the movie, give Fred some love and Evan some love. Man, this is a great, great song, and it was a great, great project to be a part of. I'll leave the link. Go to their website, not their website, but their YouTube channel, and watch the whole thing. Let us know what you think. I'll see you next time.